So you've been on a calorie deficit for a few weeks now. You felt so good about yourself when you first started. You felt so encouraged. You felt so disciplined. You're finally gonna lose that weight. You're finally gonna lose that belly fat. But it's been a month, it's been 2 months now, and the scale just hasn't moved that much. Now you're very discouraged. Now you don't know what to do. And now you're about to give up. You're about to throw in the towel. Well, before you do that, watch this video, because in this video, I'm gonna be telling you exactly why you're not losing any weight, even while you're in a calorie deficit. So let's get right into it. Number 1, you're not really in a calorie deficit. Now, before you click off the video, just hear me out. Every single person has a different calorie deficit. My calorie deficit is probably different from yours. And because a lot of people don't understand this, they end up taking another person's calorie deficit and thinking that that's theirs. Guys, there are a lot of things that contribute to actually getting a calorie deficit. There's your weight, there's your height, there's the amount of muscle you have, there's what type of food you're eating. Are you eating enough protein? How active are you throughout the day? There are so many things that come together to actually provide a baseline as to what your calorie deficit should be. What happens is a lot of you guys probably saw some calculation, saw some formula online, take your body weight, multiply it by some random number, and then subtract this number, and that's your calorie deficit. And that is what most people go by, and then they're surprised when they're not actually losing any weight. That's because you did the math wrong. Now, if you want to know how to accurately calculate what your calorie deficit should be, then stick to the end of the video and I'm going to show you how. But let's move on. Number 2, you're not tracking your calories. Guys, just eating less food doesn't mean you're in a calorie deficit. I see a lot of people say, oh, I'm in a calorie deficit. How do you know you're actually in a calorie deficit? Well, I'm eating less food than I was eating before. That doesn't matter, guys. If you're not tracking your calories, if you don't know the exact amount of calories that you're having, then you're just not in a calorie deficit. A lot of you guys use things like oils, sauces, and all these other things to cook your food. And now you're increasing the amount of calories in that food and you're not tracking it. You think you're eating regular chicken breast, but you put that chicken breast and you fried it in a bucket of oil. Now, that chicken breast that was supposed to be 100 or 200 calories is now over 1,000 calories because of the oil. If you guys think I'm exaggerating, a tablespoon of oil is about 120 calories. That is just 1 tablespoon. And most people are just drizzling oil all over their food. You're drizzling sauces all over your salad. And then you think you're in a calorie deficit. You're not in a calorie deficit. You have to start tracking your calories. Start tracking the sauces. Start tracking all the snacks that you eat. Track everything, and then you will understand that, wow, I'm actually eating a lot more than I think. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They're probably eating a lot more than they think they are. So start tracking your calories today if you actually want to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit. Number 3, you have little to no muscle on your frame. Guys, muscle is what burns calories. You don't just burn calories by just not having any muscle. Muscle is basically your body's engine. If you don't have an engine, then you're just not going to be burning any gas in your car. All right? It's the same thing with having a lot of muscle. If you notice on social media, the leanest people are usually the most muscular people. That is just not an accident. That is actually made by design. If you don't have any muscle, if you haven't put any work into building your frame and building the muscles on your frame, then your calorie deficit is going to be that much lower because you're just not going to be able to burn that many calories throughout the day. That's the difference between someone being able to lose 50 pounds in 3 months and someone struggling to lose 10 pounds in the same amount of time. So how do you build more muscle? You get in the gym, you lift weights, focus on progressive overload, lift weight 2 to 3 times a week. That is how you build more muscle. And then your calorie deficit is going to be more effective when it comes to you actually losing fat. Number 4, You're not consistent. Guys, being in a calorie deficit is just not about doing it right today and then falling off tomorrow. Be honest with yourself. Have you been consistent? Have you been doing every single thing you need to do every single day and making sure that everything is on point every single day? Have you been eating the same foods? Have you been tracking your calories Monday through Sunday? Have you been doing that? If you have not been doing that, if you're just being inconsistent, have you been weighing your food? Ask yourself all those questions. If you haven't been doing all that, then not being consistent is just not going to help you. Being in a calorie deficit from Monday to Friday and then falling off on the weekends and just doing whatever is just not going to help you out. You're not going to lose as much weight as you could. You need to put your body in a state of being in a calorie deficit for a long time. You need to put it for at least 3 months. That is how you actually start seeing results. But if you're hopping on and hopping off, then you're just not gonna see the results that you need. And number 5, you have cheat days. Cheat days are days where you just don't track your calories, you're just eating a bunch of fast food. Guys, the way your body works is your body works in averages, okay? So if you're eating 2,000 calories on your calorie deficit, and then on the weekends, you just throw all that out the door and you're eating 10,000 calories on Saturday and Sunday, the average is gonna come out to be a little over 3,000 calories. You guys need to actually track everything that you're eating. There should be no cheat days on your diet while you're in a calorie deficit. Whatever plan you're on, you should be able to have your cheat meals in that plan without actually going over your calorie deficit. So let's say you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories. If you eat 1,000 calories of healthy food and then you wanted to eat pizza, take the 1,000 calories that you have left and just use that 1,000 calories to eat your pizza. So you're still staying at 2,000 calories for that day even while you've eaten pizza. But what a lot of people do when it comes to cheat days is you're going to eat normal, eat your 2,000 calories, and then you're now going to cheat on that. So you're going to have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 extra calories on that. And then once the average comes out, you're just not going to lose any weight. So these are 5 things that you guys are currently doing right now that is probably not helping you lose fat even while you're in a calorie deficit. And I promised you guys that I was going to tell you the exact thing you should do and how you should calculate your calorie deficit. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to start by eating 2,500 calories for the week. So track all your calories and make sure you're eating 2,500 calories. Now, if at the end of the week you haven't lost any weight, then you want to cut that number down by around 200 to 300 calories. And you want to keep doing this until you have lost at least 2 to 3 pounds in a week. So once you cut that number down, say you cut it down to 2,200, you still didn't lose any weight, then you cut it down to 2,000 calories, and now you lost about 2 pounds that week. That is how you know what your calorie deficit is. All this time, you should still be staying active, you should still be lifting weights, you should still be doing every single thing that you know you need to do. That is the surefire way to actually know what your calorie deficit should be. It's about experimentation. There is no formula on the internet that is actually going to tell you what your calorie deficit should be. So if you found any value in this video, I would appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribe to the channel. Now also, if you guys want to have a more in-depth solution as to how you can lose weight and how you can keep it off for the rest of your life, click the link in the description and join my free community on Skool. I have a course there where I actually tell you guys everything you need to know about your diet, about training, and how to stay accountable throughout your fitness journey. You're also going to be part of a community of individuals that have the exact same goal that you do right now. So click the link down below in the description and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.